Draft about halfway through the second round. The most recent picks, the last two, Kim English of Missouri going to Detroit. Justin Hamilton, big kid from LSU, going to the 76ers. Fran Fraschilla, let's start with Kim English. Terrific shooter, Big 12 tournament most outstanding player. What did the Pistons pick up in Kim English?
All you need to know about Kim English is the summer before his freshman year, Reese, he slept in the locker room so he could get up as many shots as possible. This is a 6'6" wing player who had to play power forward this year in Missouri's four-guard offense. You're absolutely right. Shot 46% from behind the arc. But more importantly, for the Pistons, they're getting a blue-collar guy with phenomenal intangibles. I promise you, he's going to do everything possible to make that team. But obviously, the one thing that sticks out, Tommy Penn mentioned it, he's a specialist behind the arc.
And goes with Andre Drummond and Chris Middleton. Those two guys also drafted by Detroit. Philadelphia followed the English pick by taking Justin Hamilton. He's got a lot of size from LSU.
He does, and said that Miami needed size, and Hamilton's a guy that has emerged as a good player in the last couple of years. He's got pretty good hands. It is a big body that can bang and rebound, and he can defend in the post. He's a guy that has he's got good strength. He's not going to beat you up and down the floor, and he's not a tremendous athlete, but he's got a good skill level, and his ability to bang and defend in the post is what makes him valuable here.
Hamilton spent first 2 years at Iowa State, and there is a proposed trade, has not been confirmed yet, in which Justin Hamilton, as Jay mentioned, would go to Miami with his 45th pick. That brings New Orleans on the clock. They had the number 1 pick, Anthony Davis. They had the number 10 pick. They took Austin Rivers, and now in the second round, Adam Silver with New Orleans, 46th pick overall.
With the 46th pick in the 2012 NBA Draft, the New Orleans Hornets select Darius Miller from the University of Kentucky.
And this is why you stay through the second round. A little slice of history. First time in the common draft era, a school has had 6 guys drafted in the first 2 rounds. And this one, Darius Miller, the senior from the Wildcats.
Very efficient. He's a versatile player, team-oriented. He's mature physically and emotionally. A good athlete with a strong frame. He can knock down open shots, and he plays well off of others. He played in a role similar, really, to what he'll see in the NBA. He's got range to 22, 23 feet. He drives a closeout, and he can pull up off the dribble and hit a shot. And he does it with good body balance. He's a good, mature player that's going to come in and help you win.
The 6th man, and when Michael Kidd-Gilchrist took his starting position for the last time, he didn't pout. He became that much of a leader. Kentucky fans fully aware this is their 6th pick in this draft in 2 rounds, and Big Blue never shy about flaunting their pedigree and letting you know the reigning champions. And the Kentucky Wildcats have also set a record for the most players picked in a 3-year span. They had the 5 guys in the first round in 2010 when John Calipari, at least somewhat controversially, but good for recruiting, said it was the greatest night in the history of the storied program. It was good because he keeps getting guys that are good enough to go to the league very quickly, and he sends 6 into the league this year off that Kentucky squad. So Darius Miller going to New Orleans, where he will join his teammate Anthony Davis and also Austin Rivers. Now the Utah Jazz on the clock. The Jazz with a 47th pick overall. Adam Silver with Utah's selection.
With the 47th pick in the 2012 NBA Draft, the Utah Jazz select Kevin Murphy from Tennessee Tech University.
Kevin Murphy from Tennessee Tech, the only player in Division I to drop a 50 spot this season. He did it against SIU Edwardsville.
He's a jump shooting wing. He's got size, and he's a really good athlete with, I think, excellent potential. He's described as kind of a Jamal Crawford type player. Played really well in Portsmouth, and has his size for a guard sets him apart. He's just got a knack for scoring. Averaged 21 points a game in 34 minutes a game. He's a good guard rebounder. Turned it over a little bit, but shot over 42% from 3, and he's the type of guy that gets to the free throw line. He's got really good form and mechanics on his shot. Not a great passer, but the ball doesn't stick in his hands either. He's a fluid scoring wing.
Also, he has his degree. The guys from Tennessee Tech said the publicity picture they were going to send out of him wasn't necessarily just playing basketball. They were going to send one out of him in his cap and gown. And finally, didn't have a first-round pick, but now the New York Knicks are on the clock. Number 48 overall. They've been waiting and waiting. What, we've been here for 4 hours almost? You know how devoted these fans are, how they eat this up. They've been chanting your name during breaks, Jeff.
Yeah, but usually after my name comes sucks. But you know, that's just part of it. But no, the fan base is as rabid as any group in the NBA. And I'll tell you what, this has been through a tough period, and they're coming out of it now. And you'll just see how hard a home court Madison Square Garden is once again.
And with LeBron getting his title, maybe some pressure shifts to Carmelo Anthony to bring a championship to New York. Here's Adam Silver with the Knicks pick.
With the 48th pick in the 2012 NBA Draft, the New York Knicks select Kostas Papanikolaou. He last played for Olympiakos in Greece.
You know what? Kostas Papanikolaou might turn out to be an NBA All-Star. But right now, all of these Knicks fans are going, are you telling me I've waited 4 hours for this? Fran, give them some hope.
Hey, relax, give them some hope. I'm a Knicks fan. This is a good pick. At 48, this guy was the hero of the EuroLeague championship. Olympiakos won it. He's a 6'8" forward. He plays hard. The fans will love him when he gets to New York, but he probably won't be here for a couple of years. This is one of the best young players in Europe, and he's probably nearly a first-round talent, except that he's a draft and stash guy. But the big thing about him is his energy and his efficiency. One negative, not a great shooter. Reasonably good athlete, loves to defend. He'll take charges, he'll get on the floor, and believe me, if you played in the Greek League, you played in pressure situations. Solid pick at 48. You're not going to get much better than this.
Fran, you almost had him convinced, and then you said he wouldn't be here for a couple of years. And then they got upset again. Kostas Papanikolaou. What? This guy's saying? What? The NBA draft continues. After this.
Let's go! New Jersey, all the way!
This program is brought to you by Air Canada. Proud to fly you to over 175 destinations worldwide. Recently voted the best international airline in North America by Skytrax. Book now at aircanada.com.
Turn your computer on at 888poker.net and try a different poker experience. Play anyone, anytime, anywhere. With award-winning software and millions of players, there's always a good game.
Join 888poker.net now and play for free.
888poker.net. We play different.
She gave herself to him after many of his tries. He spits out his shame. It makes his mouth run dry. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Hi, baby.
Genuine aged Appleton Estate Jamaica rum. Live exceptional.
Don't think of it as a stop. Think of it as another chance to go. Try new, stronger STP Complete Fuel System Cleaner and make the stop more about the go.
One sunrise, more beauty. One bomb, more envy. One recovery, more celebration. One bunker, more bunkers. One putt, more birdies. Club Link. One membership, more golf.
Everyone in this family loves free stuff, like these earmuffs from the air show.
Did you tell about the free stuff?
Huh?
At Choice Hotels, 2 stays pays. Stay 2 separate times and earn a free $50 gift card for gas, dining, or shopping. Book now at choicehotels.com.
Coca-Cola and Participation teamed up to create Sogo Active, which is a program to get you up and active.
We try and create a space that brings in diverse young people so they can meet each other.
Building relationships, I think that's really important for youth, creating a sense of community. I would encourage any youth organization across the country, apply for a grant to get youth active.
Join us in supporting communities across Canada at livepositively.ca.
Turn right. Next left. Turn right.
Introducing the all-new 2013 Lexus RX F-Sport.
Next right.
Now the journey is more exciting than the destination.
Okay, get ready. Oh, yeah. Yeah! Hey, who says women drivers are lousy?
10. Starts tomorrow.
You're watching the 2012 NBA Draft presented by State Farm. We're at the Prudential Center, Newark, New Jersey, winding our way into the deeper part of the second round on a night when Anthony Davis and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist led the way from Kentucky. Darius Miller became the 6th player picked from the Wildcats. He, like Davis, going to New Orleans. And our 2 most recent picks, Kyle O'Quinn, who led Norfolk State to the upset of Missouri in the NCAA tournament, taking on the task of playing for Orlando, and that was followed by Izet Turkey-Malls going to Denver. Let's start with Kyle O'Quinn, Jay, out of Norfolk State.
Well, you mentioned his game against Missouri, in which he had 26 points, 14 rebounds, and 2 blocks in that win. 2 straight years for Kyle O'Quinn as a double-figure rebounder. He averaged over 10 rebounds per game at Norfolk State last year, 6'10", got a wingspan of 7'5". He went to the Portsmouth Invitational this year and averaged 12 rebounds a game, almost 4 blocks. He was the MVP at Portsmouth. You know, he's not a big-time athlete, but he's productive. And with his length and his ability to rebound, that makes him a solid pick here at 49.
He's the Lou Henson Award winner. He's the top mid-major player in the country as well. And just after O'Quinn went to the Magic, the Nuggets went overseas for the 2nd time tonight, and they took Izet Turkey-Malls, Fran.
Oh, I'm Izzy, Reese, but what you need to know about this kid is you needed to take a ferry to go see his team play, a 3-hour boat ride, so he wasn't really well known. He played at Banvit. What this kid is a 6'11", thin, power forward, very athletic, runs the floor, may or may not ever play in the NBA, but when you're drafted in the 50s, this is a nice gamble. Very athletic. We saw him at the Adidas Euro Camp. I like him. We'll take him.
So Boston back on the clock, the 51st pick. Earlier tonight, the Celtics took Jared Sullinger, then Fab Melo. Adam Silver with the Celtics pick.
With the 51st pick in the 2012 NBA Draft, the Boston Celtics select Chris Joseph from Montreal, Canada, and Syracuse University.
Well, Chris Joseph, part of that deep, talented team that Jim Boeheim had this year, scored about 13.5 a game.
A good standstill three-point shooter and very good in transition. Just under 6'8", arms that go to 6'11". consistent shooting off the dribble, but he can hit a pull-up jumper. A good defender and a pretty good rebounder on the backside of that zone. Obviously, he's going to have to play man-to-man in the NBA. I think he still has to become a better given his athleticism and his length. But he played mostly zone. He had good defensive instincts in that zone. I think Chris Joseph, because of his transition ability, his ability to hit a perimeter shot, is a solid pick at 51.
So at least a little familiarity, at least in training camp, for Fab Melo, as a couple of Syracuse guys going to Boston along with Jared Sullinger. Make anything out of the way the Celtics went with a little bit of size early and then going with Chris Joseph?
I like the way they went. I like getting Jared Sullinger, obviously, at 21. That late in the draft, you get that type of talent. But Chris Joseph, look, he's a guy who can come in and maybe make your practices competitive if you can make the squad. Like you said, there'll be some familiarity with Fab Melo. I like the pick.
Okay, so Chris Joseph going to Boston, the Golden State Warriors. On the clock right now. Early on, they took Harrison Barnes, also took Festus Ezeli in the first round out of Vanderbilt. Let's see what the Warriors do now.
We have another trade to announce. The Dallas Mavericks trade the draft rights to Tyler Zeller, the 17th pick, and Kalina Azubuike to the Cleveland Cavaliers for the draft rights to Jared Cunningham, the 24th pick, the draft rights to Bernard James, the 33rd pick, and the draft rights to Jay Crowder, the 34th pick. And with the 52nd pick in the 2012 NBA Draft, the Golden State Warriors select Ognan Kuzmic from Doboj, Bosnia and Herzegovina. He last played for Clínicas in Spain.
All right, Fran, Golden State making the pick. What do you have on Ognan Kuzmic?
Ognan Kuzmic.
Say it again.
Ognan Kuzmic.
Ognan Kuzmic.
Yep.
Okay, I'm with you.
Hey, when you're talking about the 50s, you're talking about size, right? Tommy Penn talks about it all the time. 7'1". The interesting thing about this young man is this was his first year at a very high level. He is Bosnian, signed by the Spanish club in Malaga. Beautiful place to live, by the way. But played at Lev Gold, which is the second division. He worked out for some teams. He's a long-range project, but the thing you like about him at 7'1", he's just learning how to play, doesn't have a ton of bad habits. Reach here, but it's a good reach when you're talking 7'1".
All right, Fran, so Golden State reaching, and just behind me, the Zeller family has been sitting here waiting. When that trade was confirmed, they came and took away their Dallas hats. Now Tyler Zeller's dad is wearing a Cleveland Cavaliers cap. That's efficiency. Trade has been consummated. We'll wrap up the second round. We roll on here from the Prudential Center in Newark.
Gatorade Prime. Energy to start strong. Gatorade Perform, the original Gatorade. Hydration to stay strong. Gatorade Recover, protein to come back strong. For training, for race day. The G Series, Prime, Perform, Recover.
First, there was the Prius, the perfect car for people who like revolutionary fuel efficiency. Then, there was the larger Prius V, the perfect car for people who need versatility. Now, there's the smaller Prius C, the perfect car for people who love great handling. Together, they make the perfect family, don't you think?
Only Virgin Mobile members get exclusive access and deals with our awesome partners. Are you missing out? Virgin Mobile. It's better to be a member.
When I throw a backyard barbecue, I start with a few friends. Then I add music, the refreshing taste of Smirnoff Ice Light, and here's to whatever's next. Smirnoff Ice Light. Less sweet, 100 calories.
When I throw a party at the cottage, I start with a few friends. Then I add music, the refreshing taste of Smirnoff Ice, and here's to whatever's next. Smirnoff Ice, a refreshing taste of summer.
Smart is affordable 3D glasses. Smart is turning 2D to 3D. Smart is simple control and 3D videos on demand. Smart is LG Cinema 3D Smart TV. So, how smart is your 3D?
One sunrise, more beauty. One bomb, more envy. One recovery, more celebration. One bunker, more bunkers. One putt, more birdies. Club Link, one membership, more golf.
Car companies go to extremes to clear out their cars. But when you're the fastest growing car company in Canada, you don't need to. First, there's the Optima, the 2012 Motoring Car of the Year. Then there's the all-new fuel-efficient Rio and Forte with an impressive list of standard features. And of course, the Sorento with its available 7-passenger seating. The Sportage, an IIHS top safety pick. And the fuel-efficient Soul. Yep, why go to extremes when you offer the best deals on all remaining 2012 models? Whoops.
Don't think of it as a stop. Think of it as another chance to go. Try new, stronger STP Complete Fuel System Cleaner and make the stop more about the go.
The CFL on TSN kicks off tomorrow at 7 with Wendy's Friday Night Football. At 12:01 on Canada Day, the frenzy begins as this year's crop of NHL free agents hit the open market. Join the TSN hockey experts as they break down who's going where. Free Agent Frenzy. Canada Day starting at noon.
Wide Series heads to the Bluegrass State where Elliott Sadler, Austin Dillon, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. will be looking to take their first win at Kentucky Speedway. NASCAR Nationwide Series at Kentucky coverage starts Friday, 7 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN2. And while we were in break, picks, of course, coming rather quickly with only 2 minutes between them. Los Angeles Clippers selecting 53rd overall, and they took Furkan Aldemir from Turkey, Fran.
Bring it on, Reese. Bring it on, baby. Hey, this kid, you know, if they say rebounding translates, this kid will find a place in the NBA someday. At 6'9", he's a very rugged kid, only 20 years old. He averaged 15 rebounds a game in the European Under-20 Championships. He's one of the best young players in Europe, but his main game is rebounding. Can't really score outside of putbacks. Can't really defend away from the basket. But if you want ruggedness, you want a rebounder, 20 years old, good pick here.
So Furkan Aldemir from Turkey going to the Clippers. Now the Philadelphia 76ers making the most recent pick. Here is Adam Silver.
With the 54th pick in the 2012 NBA Draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select Tourniquet Shengelia from Tbilisi, Georgia, and he is here tonight.
How about Tourniquet Shengelia making the trip here? Mark Fox probably wishes that he played for his Georgia, but he's the 5th international player taken in the last 7 picks.
You're right, and he goes by the nickname of Toko. That's easy for everybody. And I think Zaza Pachulia might be in the building tonight, the Atlanta Hawks forward, because they're teammates on the Georgia national team. What you got here with Shengelia is a 6'9" scorer, really good at attacking the basket, plays with good physicality, and finds ways to score around the rim. Has to work on his jump shot, but again, talking about draft and stash with Euro bigs, very solid pick here for Philly. Put him on ice a couple years. We may see him when he's 23 or 24.
All right, friends, so Toko Shingalia going with the 54th pick to the Philadelphia 76ers. New Orleans started the draft tonight by taking Anthony Davis, and then with the 10th pick got Austin Rivers, and then picked up Darius Miller, Davis's teammate from Kentucky, in the second round. Busy night for the Hornets. Janine Edwards has been in New Orleans covering the Hornets draft, and she's standing by with Monty Williams.
It has been a busy night, Reese, and it's been a very exciting night. And Monty Williams, you will now be coaching your first #1 draft pick. What excites you the most about coaching Anthony Davis?
Well, he can play, for one. Two, he's a great kid. Having talked to him a couple times, we've texted a lot, we've talked on the phone. He has an understanding of the work that's going to be required of him. He's a humble kid, and yet he has an edge, a quiet confidence about him. And he's a defensive-minded player. We love that in New Orleans.
Now, with number 10, you went Austin Rivers. He's a pure shooter, and you're also making it a priority to keep another shooting guard that you have in Eric Gordon. So how does Austin fit into the mix, and might you try to make him play the point?
Well, I think he can play some point guard. Eric Gordon is our best player. But Austin is a guy who can create for other guys. He can create for himself. I think he can get to the free throw line more than people give him credit, especially in the NBA. It's going to take him some time, but I think he's born for this. He's been in this atmosphere his whole life. He knows he has to work at it, but I think he's going to be really good.
And you know him really well, too, so that helps. Now, you've also got Darius Miller. So 3 talented guys will be joining your team. You spent 10 years in the league. What advice have you given them, or will you give them about making this transition?
Enjoy it, one. Embrace the work and remain coachable. But at the same time, this is a dream. Your worst day is a good problem for other people, and you're blessed to be in this position. Embrace this city, have a great time, and don't have any regrets. Try your best every day, and just listen to me.
Well said. And guys, not only the Hornets, but their fans have a lot to be excited about. Back to you.
All right, Janine, and the 3 guys that the Hornets have taken have a reputation for listening to the coach and see if they can get the franchise going, along with Eric Gordon in the post-Chris Paul era. The next team up to make the pick, the Dallas Mavericks. Mavericks have a lot of college stars who've been selected and or traded to them already. Let's see what the Mavericks do with the 55th pick.
With the 55th pick in the 2012 NBA Draft, the Dallas Mavericks select Darius Johnson-Odom from Marquette University.
So DJO will join his Marquette teammate Jake Crowder, who's also headed to Dallas after being taken with the 34th pick. So a couple of veteran guys from the college game headed to Dallas, Jay.
Just a tough player. You know, he's got a 40-inch vertical. He's the kind of guy that'll will his way into the NBA. Strong, hard-nosed player. He can shoot it. He's good in transition and attacks off the dribble and can pull up. He's a lefty, primarily a catch-and-shoot guy. Really good shot fake, but I like how he drives it hard to get into the paint. He may not have good size at about 6'3", but I think he can be a good rotation guy in the league, a good locker room guy, and a guy that can make your team. He's just a really hard worker that goes after it.
Darius Johnson-Odom on his way to the Mavericks. Toronto Raptors on the clock, and then the Brooklyn Nets. They already came up with Tyshawn Taylor as a result of a trade earlier tonight. We'll see what Toronto and Brooklyn have in store as we have the final 5 picks of the second round coming. Some family moments from the draft so far.
She gave herself to him after many of his tries. He spits out his shame. It makes his mouth run dry. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Hi, baby.
Genuine aged Appleton Estate Jamaica rum. Live exceptional.
Coca-Cola and Participaction teamed up to create Sogo Active, which is a program to get you up and active.
We try and create a space that brings in diverse young people so they can meet each other.
Building relationships, I think that's really important for youth, creating a sense of community. I would encourage any youth organization across the country, apply for a grant to get you.
Join us in supporting communities across Canada at livepositively.ca.
Ford doesn't build quality cars.
That's what I used to think.
Then I read a review.
And a blog, and another, which led to the test drive. And that solid feeling.
The sound of the door closing.
Secure. Which is great, because I buy for the long term.
My focus, make car and drivers 10 best list.
And that's definitely speaking my language. Think you know Ford? You've never driven a Ford like this.
New Nescafe 3-in-1. Sweet, creamy coffee. Now that makes sense.
And so we embark on a month-long journey to find things that have a story. Things made with steady hands and focused eyes. Things that are made by people like us, people who give a damn. This summer, we're setting out to raise a beer. All things made well.
Okay, get ready. Oh, yeah. Yeah! Hey, who says women drivers are lousy?
Ted. Starts tomorrow.
Sky Active, a revolutionary technology that defies convention. Perfectly combining outstanding fuel efficiency and performance that hybrids would only dream of. Introducing the new 2012 Mazda 3 lineup, starting from $15,895 plus 0% financing for up to 84 months. We build Mazdas. What do you drive?
At Burger King, there's a different full-size sandwich for a small size, $1.99. Every day of the week. We call them King Deals. Because we're Burger King. Okay, you're just matching everything I say with a picture. Monster truck, stepladder, manatee? Get a different full-size sandwich every day for only $1.99. Only at Burger King. Logo? Website? And so we embark on a month-long journey to find things that have a story. Things made with steady hands and focused eyes. Things that are made by people like us, people who am. This summer, we're setting out to raise a beer. All things made well.
Coverage of the NBA draft. Toronto Raptors a few moments ago took Tomislav Zupčić from Croatia, the 56th pick. He's a big fella, almost 7 feet tall. Another one of the projects. 6 of the last 9 picks in the NBA draft have been international players. Most of them draft and stash players, as Fran Fraschilla would say. So the Brooklyn Nets about to make the next pick. They are moving to Brooklyn for next season. They did miss the playoffs for the 5th straight year, but not only the move and the playoff drought, but the big thing for them, the future of Darren Williams long-term as a Net, Chris.
Well, yeah, of course, Sunday free agency begins July 1st, and he has a big decision to make. He's really mulling over whether he wants to go to Dallas, his hometown, and play for the Mavericks, or stay with the Nets and go to Brooklyn. Brooklyn is the favorite right now. He has a great relationship with the general manager, Billy King, and especially the coach, Avery Johnson. He has talked strategy recently with Avery Johnson for next season. So Darren is talking to the Nets as if he plans to be there long term. That's a good sign for Brooklyn fans.
All right, we'll see how that resolves itself over the next few weeks. The Brooklyn Nets about to make a pick in the draft. Earlier, they came up in a trade with Tyshawn Taylor from Kansas, Adam Silver with the newest Net.
With the 57th pick in the 2012 NBA Draft, the Brooklyn Nets select İlkan Karaman. He last played for Kırşehir in Turkey.
İlkan Karaman, forward from Turkey, averaged about 11.6 rebounds per game last year, and now that makes it 7 of 10, Fran. 7 of the last 10 picks have been international players.
Yeah, that's right, Reese. And this guy will not factor into Deron Williams' decision to stay in Brooklyn. I can guarantee you that. But what he does lead this draft in is tattoos. Big, strong kid. Had a good year in the Turkish league. He does play hard. He's an undersized power forward, but you got to love his energy. He throws his weight around. Tough kid. You know, he's a hit or miss guy. He may never play in the league, but he's got a big smile on his face right now back in Turkey.
All right, Fran, we bring in Tom Penn, former general manager of the Portland Trail Blazers. Brooklyn, they've a lot of things in front of them right now. Give us a breakdown of what the Nets are facing.
Well, in 48 hours and 10 minutes, it starts, and that's the re-signing of Deron Williams. I can't remember a situation where so much relied on this because of what they've done to go all in on Deron Williams and building this team around him. Let's revisit what they did in trading for Deron Williams. They gave up Devin Harris. They gave up the number 2 pick in the 2010 draft in Derek Favors. They gave up Enes Kanter, the number 3 pick last year, and a future draft pick that's coming from Golden State, first-round pick next year, all to get Dwight Howard, who did not come. So then they did the Gerald Wallace trade and gave up the number 6 pick, Damian Lillard. That treasure trove of young assets is now gone. They only have 5 players under contract. So starting in 48 hours and now 9 minutes, we're going to see if they can re-sign Deron Williams and add enough talent, because they've gone completely all in with these transactions.
All right, Tom, and the Nets fans, this used to be the Nets home arena, hoping that perhaps there are some bright days in the future that will include Deron Williams. Minnesota with a 58th pick in the draft. They are on the clock. Adam Silver has the Timberwolves choice.
We have another trade to announce. The Miami Heat trade the draft rights to Arnett Moultrie, the 27th pick, to the Philadelphia 76ers for Justin Hamilton, the 45th pick, and a future first-round pick. With the 58th pick in the 2012 NBA Draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Robbie Hummel from Purdue University.
And Robbie Hummel is a guy who has endured a couple of knee injuries in his career, continued to fight through, and you feel good for everyone that gets drafted, but given the injuries he's faced, you feel particularly good that Hummel was drafted.
Yeah, Hummel's not only a great kid, he's an outstanding player. Can really shoot the ball, can pull up off the dribble, good catch and shoot, good coming off screens, played in a motion system under Matt Painter, ran a lot of sets as well, but you can see him there in a pick and pop, gets it off quickly, and just a good team guy. You wonder a little bit about those knees, but if the doctors pass on him, you got to feel good for Robbie Hummel, because I think he would have been drafted a lot higher had he been healthy the last couple of years.
He's a 2-time honorable mention All-American during his time at West Lafayette, so he Boilers up, and he'll move to Minnesota as a member of the Timberwolves and have an opportunity to make that team. 2 picks remaining in the NBA draft. The San Antonio Spurs are on the clock, and then let's see, have we not heard from the Lakers? We'll finish things up when you come back.
Turn right. Next left. Turn right.
Introducing the all-new 2013 Lexus RX F-Sport.
Next right.
Now the journey is more exciting than the destination.
They have lots of shoes with rubber soles. They wake up early to chase birds. They don't take things seriously, except for the things they take seriously, like hanging out with friends. and maybe a dog. That's the Ultra Life. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs, and exceptionally smooth taste. Exceptional light beer. Perfectly balanced for the Ultra Life.
Here's the reality of it. You're on the line between breaking point and breaking through. Now get over that line. Take the best you can do and do better. Every second is a moment in time, but this second is a moment in history.
Turn right. Next left. Turn right.
Introducing the all-new 2013 Lexus RX F-Sport.
Next right.
Now the journey is more exciting than the destination.
ESPN's coverage of the championships at Wimbledon continued Friday morning. Third round. Among the stars, you'll see Maria Sharapova, Novak Djokovic, Roger Federer in action in separate matches. It all starts 7 a.m. Eastern Time on ESPN, ESPN3, and also live on Watch ESPN. Afternoon coverage is presented by Rolex. The San Antonio Spurs, who after a little bit of a stumbling start at 12-9, finished 38-7, made it to the Western Conference Finals. They have the next to the last pick in the draft tonight.
With the 59th pick in the 2012 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Marcus Denman from the University of Missouri.
So the penultimate pick in the draft is Marcus Denman, a little over 6'3", a very good three-point shooter for the Tigers this past year. Jay averaged nearly 18 points per game.
Yeah, he may be undersized, but he's an attack guard. Unafraid to take big shots. We saw him do it against Kansas, can pull up and knock it in from deep, and also very good off the dribble. Does a good job of getting steals and deflections, and just plays really hard. Maybe undersized, but he's got a really big heart, and I really like him as a player. I had him rated a little bit lower than this, but I'm glad to see him drafted, because Marcus Denman, I thought, played as hard as anybody in the country from the guard spot in the last couple years.
He was a second-team AP All-American, first Mizzou Consensus All-American. This Melvin Booker in 1994. And to wrap up this 2012 NBA Draft, the Los Angeles Lakers are finally on the clock with the last pick of the night.
Russian standard. Vodka as it should be.
When I throw a backyard barbecue, I start with a few friends. Then I add music, the refreshing taste of Smirnoff Ice Light, and here's to whatever's next. Smirnoff Ice Light, less sweet, 100 calories.
When I throw a party at the cottage, I start with a few friends. Then I add music, the refreshing taste of Smirnoff Ice, and here's to whatever's next. Smirnoff Ice, a refreshing taste of summer.
There's a whole team of us working to bring the most important stories of the day to that 11 o'clock newscast, analyzing the value of every story. Who's this story going to help? Why has it made the cut? I think the story we did on ovarian cancer, early detection, may save one person's life. It's an enormous amount of responsibility. It is part of the job that I love the most.
Car companies go to extremes to clear out their cars. But when you're the fastest growing car company in Canada, you don't need to. First, there's the Optima, the 2012 Motoring Car of the Year. Then there's the all-new fuel-efficient Rio and Forte with an impressive list of standard features. And of course, the Sorento with its available 7-passenger seating. The Sportage, an IIHS top safety pick. And the fuel-efficient Soul. Yep, why go to extremes when you offer the best deals on all remaining 2012 models? Whoops.
Russian standard. Vodka as it should be.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2012 NBA Draft is presented by State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state. And in part by HP. With the HP DM4 Beats Edition, sound never sounded so good. And Gatorade. Gatorade knows it all begins within. Win from within.
Welcome to the 2012 NBA Draft at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. With the first pick in the 2012 NBA Draft, the New Orleans Hornets select Anthony Davis.
I just want to come in and do the best I can.
The Charlotte Bobcats select Michael Kidd-Gilchrist.
It is the first time ever that the top two picks have come from the same school.
The Sacramento Kings select Thomas Robinson from the University of Kansas. Harrison Barnes, Kendall Marshall, John Henson, Tyler Zeller.
Big night for the Carolina family.
With the 21st pick, Jared Sullinger.
It's a low risk for a high reward.
Perry Jones III.
I don't matter what number I got picked, I just want the opportunity to play.
An emotional night, an exhilarating one for these players who've waited so long, and the Lakers have waited a long time to get on the clock. And finally, Los Angeles will make the final pick of the night, the 60th pick. Adam Silver will announce that the men from L.A. will add to their roster right now.
Before the final pick tonight, I'd like to thank ESPN and our broadcasters around the world for their coverage of tonight's draft. I'd especially like to thank the city of Newark and, of course, all of you here tonight for your terrific enthusiasm. Thank you very much. With the 60th pick in the 2012 NBA Draft, the Los Angeles Lakers select Robert Sacre from North Vancouver, Canada, and Gonzaga University. Good night, New Jersey.
Robert Sacre from Gonzaga goes with the 60th pick.
Well, Robert Sacre's got a big body, good offensive player, can make a face-up shot, can play with his back to the basket, turnaround jumper, jump hook, big, strong body, not necessarily a shot blocker, but a good rebounder and a solid player. He's been well coached and played at a really high level in his time at Gonzaga.
Remember last year, the 60th pick in the draft was Isaiah Thomas from Washington. He started every game for the Kings after the All-Star break last year, so you never know what you might find even late, Jeff.
He played very, very well. When he was on the floor, I thought their chemistry offensively in particular was so much better. And so you're right. You don't know, and that's why you study all year as an organization, because you never know where the next gem may be turned up.
Robert Sacre, after playing for Mark Few and a lot of high-level games for Gonzaga, will get his opportunity with the Los Angeles Lakers. And with that, the NBA Draft for 2012 wraps up. I want to thank you for watching the 2012 NBA Draft presented by State Farm. Up next, Sports Center from LA. ESPN is starting a post-draft special. They're yelling at Chris Broussard. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Bo Garrett, Phil Dean, Ed Kerr, and everybody on our great ESPN crew, and Chris, Jeff, Jay, and all our reporters, I'm Reese Davis. Good night from Newark, New Jersey.
He's never far away from headlines, and he could prove to be Italy's headline maker.
This is SportsCenter.
Crosby cashes in.